Hi, my name is Angie Wong, and I am president of Legacy PAC. We just came off a huge bus tour across the nation where we went and supported Republican candidates that were running in the midterm elections. We're going to do it again in Georgia for Herschel Walker during his runoff. And of course, we're mobilizing for the big presidential run in 2024. We would love your support and your donations to help us hold the line for the America First agenda and to support the next generation of conservative leaders. So please go to legacy-pac.org. That's legacy-pac.org. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for Trump. I'm here on our partner channel, The Vet Voice, with my friend Angela Stanton King. Angela is an established author, a TV personality. She ran for Congress, and she's also the executive director of the American King Foundation. How are you today, Angela?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, we love to have you, and we appreciate all the work you're doing in Georgia and nationwide. Angela, for our viewers that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. I kind of it's a long story here, one of those eye jerkers, but I had grown up in a dysfunctional family. I spent some time in prison. Back in 2005, I was in prison serving time for a nonviolent crime, and I found out I was pregnant. And I ended up giving birth to my daughter chained to a bed with a sheriff watching. Mind you, 18 years later, I had no idea that I'd be standing in front of President Donald Trump in the Oval Office sharing my story because one of his initiatives was criminal justice reform. And during that time, before I even ended up in front of him, I had completely started working on rehabilitating my life, getting back out, getting on my feet, going from being a welfare recipient to a successful business owner. And when I sat in front of Trump that day and told him my story, not only did he pass the most historic piece of criminal justice legislation that ever hit our nation, but he also made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during childbirth because of my story. And not too long after that, he also gave me a full and unconditional pardon for my past crimes because of the work that I had done in community service over the last 18 years since my release. Once President Trump signed the First Step Act, I started the organization American King Foundation because I knew that there were going to be a lot of returning citizens coming home. And one thing that I knew about prison was that it would be a revolving door if you didn't have the necessary tools that you needed in order to succeed. So our organization went out and secured 4,000 jobs for those returning citizens through a partnership with the Alaska Department of Labor. They could go over there and work for 3 months and make a whole year's salary. Then when they came back, our organization would help them invest those funds and start their own business. Along that journey, my daughter, the one that I gave birth to in prison, ended up being a huge success, winning the International Harvard Debate Championship and got a #1 and got full scholarship rides from all of the top schools in the country from Harvard on down. It's now in her first year at MIT. And it just goes to show you how God can take an ugly situation and turn it into something good, which brings us to where we're at, Auntie Angie's house.
And you actually covered everything I wanted to ask you about. Uh, so I'm smiling now, but I'm not going to be in a second because you're going to tell us some very troubling news uh, associated with your nonprofit and what you are doing to help these children and mothers. Can you get into that for us?
I sure will. I just want to back up just a little bit and say that when I was first released from prison, I had lost my mother and my grandmother while I was incarcerated, both due to sudden death. So when I came home to 4 children that were waiting on me in 3 garbage bags, and we didn't have anywhere to go. I was a convicted felon at the time. No one wanted to give me a job. No, I couldn't get any government assistance because I was a convicted felon. So I ended up one day going to a women in crisis center looking for help. And there was this lady sitting behind the desk. And I began to share my story with her, just crying out because at that point I was ready to give up in life because I couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And the lady sitting behind that desk that day just happened to be Dr. Alveda King, the niece of Martin Luther King Jr. She gave me a job on the spot, helped me get an apartment, and helped me get on my feet. The one thing she asked me, she says, I never want anything from you. She says, just one day I want you to be to someone else who I am to you. Thus, Auntie Angie's house. We had a rehabilitation project that was in the historic King District, right across the street from Senator Warnock's church. It was a 9-bedroom, 9-bathroom oasis for pregnant women facing an unplanned pregnancy that didn't have any family support, or they were facing a crisis or a need. We were going to turn this into an oasis and a safe place for women and their babies. After the first of the year, I went over to meet the contractor, and to my surprise, the house was completely gone. It had been completely burned down, they say. The neighbors say they heard an explosion, but out of 9 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and 3 kitchens, all we were left with was rubble.
And you put together a short clip on YouTube showing the damage and talking about your organization. So I'll add that to the end of this interview. And I would like to encourage all our veterans and first responders across the country that are watching this to do what you can to help Angela's nonprofit and rebuild this building that's done such good in a positive way for so many people. Can you tell our viewers how they can find your website or the GoFundMe?
Yeah. The easiest thing, if you go to GoFundMe and you just type in Auntie Angie's house or just Auntie Angie, it'll pop right up, which is AUNTIEANGIES. Another way is you can just go to AuntieAngie'sHouse.com and it'll lead you exactly to where you need to go. Or you can go to our website, which is www.theakf.org. But it will be great to see everyone who wants to support. Head over to the GoFundMe. Let's do this as a community. You know, my dream and our dream over at American King Foundation, it may have been burned down, but it was not burned out. And all of you can join us by keeping the dream alive and providing a life resource center for a community that is in desperate need of it.
Well, there you have it. Angela's doing God's work, and she does work with Alveda King, and she is a supporter of President Trump. I ran into her at the announcement at Mar-a-Lago. She's also involved with the coalition, so let's do what we can to help President Trump as well.
That's right.
Thank you, ma'am, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you for your time, and let's try to help you get some donations in.
Thank you so much, Stan, and thank you ahead of time to everybody. You know how we are. We've got to stand together. We know what we're up against. This isn't about politics or anything. This is about good versus evil, and we are actually saving lives. So thank you for your support.
You're very welcome. Take care, my friend.
Will do.
Atlanta fire crews are on the scene of a fire near Auburn Avenue. Good Day's Mark Teigner joins us live from the scene along Irwin Avenue with the very latest. Mark, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Buck. I'm going to step out. You can see nothing left of this house here on Irwin Street in Northeast Atlanta. That's where this house fire broke out.
I mean, to be completely honest, I was in complete shock. If there were 2 words that could describe how I felt, it was confusion and devastation. I just kept looking and scanning around the area to see if I was in the right place. I pulled up here to meet the contractor, and the house was gone. I myself was a single mother. I'd been released from prison. I didn't have the help and assistance that I needed. My mother and grandmother had both passed away during my incarceration. So this was my dream. I wanted to help other women that were just like me, that needed stability, that needed some support. With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I was building this home, Auntie Angie's house, to help pregnant women not only keep their babies, but help them become sufficient so that they could take care of their babies
We've been told by firefighters that this home is vacant. They don't know if anybody is inside what is left of it. They say it's simply too early. It's too hot for them to go in and do a thorough search. Also too early for them to know the cause. They do have fire investigators who are going to come out and try to take a look at this.
Auntie Angie's house was going to provide just that. It was going to be a 9-bedroom, 9-bathroom oasis for pregnant women to help them and their babies. We were going to provide life skills, entrepreneurship skills, give them everything that they needed in order to succeed. Stanton King, I'm the founder of American King Foundation. We're still going to rebuild. It's going to take some time. This was a rehabilitation project for my organization, and because of the Black maternal health crisis, I said, what's the solution? How can we help these women? I pulled up and this is all that's left of a dream. As you can see, charred remains. They left us with nothing more than sticks and bricks. How can the dream live if we burn it down?